With us today on Morning Blend is Susan Cancro. She is the Executive Director of Advent House Ministries in Lansing. Now, Susan, as a local nonprofit agency working on issues related to housing, how has this pandemic affected mid-Michigan families?
You know, we were just talking a little bit before we started about the economic hit.
Yeah.
You know, when everything changes and you can't get to your job or your job doesn't exist anymore, or the way work happens isn't what it was, then you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so you have a gap in funding, and then you have financial stress, and then it's very hard to think through what you do next, and of course this just escalates. So many people are still struggling with the impact of the pandemic.
And I think sometimes there's a little bit of disconnect with some people benefited from the economy of the pandemic, while others are really struggling. What types of financial housing assistance are available to Ingham County residents right now?
Right now, there's actually quite a bit of assistance.
Oh, good.
You know, the federal government really stepped up and created funding streams to states to assist with housing, to avoid eviction. You don't want people becoming homeless in this mess.
Right.
And then also to avoid foreclosure. So there's money for people who are paying mortgages and struggling, or people who are paying rent. And our agency works mostly with people who have rent assistance needs and some utility assistance needs. So we stay stable. If you can take the stress off, then people can think through what to do next.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do.
And they're not always aware that there are agencies and resources waiting for them to just come ask and get them. Is there an end cap on when that funding is available?
Right now, the funding we're in at this moment will end in a few months as it is, but there's renewal on the horizon. So we assume, from what we're hearing, that funding will continue for some time.
And we're talking families that are working. And maybe they're having an issue with transportation, or maybe some other repair came up, or some need came up that they had to address, and they're stuck.
Yeah, no, when people look at how to be eligible for this funding, they're going to say you have to have a COVID-related issue. Well, I wasn't sick, so that's not true. Well, that's not the only way it can hit you. Maybe you were home more. Maybe you used more utilities. Maybe family members came to stay with you, and the cost of maintaining your household increased. So you weren't able then to meet your bills. And this is all absolutely normal and understandable. And people should not hesitate to take this help.
Yeah. Advent House Ministries, Susan Cancro, the Executive Director, thank you so much for joining us today and reminding everyone that resources are available. Maybe you don't need them, but maybe someone you know does, and we can pass that on. Thank you for the work you do.
Thank you.